Coming up next, we have a couple folks. We have Danielle and Ashley to come out here and talk to us, so please give them each a warm welcome to the stage.
Yes, please. Hello. How's everyone doing? Are we having fun, New York? It's crazy. I'm already losing my voice, so that's awesome. My name's Ashley. Some of you, if you know me on Twitter, I'm Bored Becky. Woo!
And I'm Danielle, also known as NFT Ignition.
So, if you had asked me if I thought I was coming to NFT.NYC 4 months ago, I would have said maybe, because I'm coming from Canada, had to deal with the border and all that fun stuff. But if you had asked me if I was going to be the owner of a collectibles project, I probably would have said maybe one day, but here I am. So some people might know the story about Fame Lady Squad, and some people don't. We're surprised, actually, there's some people who don't, because at the time, in August, it was kind of the big story. So Fame Lady Squad is the first all-female generative avatar project on the Ethereum blockchain, and it was positioned to be the first all-female-led NFT team. Well, it turns out it was a bunch of Russian dudes pretending to be women, and yeah, I mean, I don't know how to make this thing work. It doesn't matter. Oh, there we go. Cool. So we still are the very first generative all-female project, and we were very, very excited. I'm going to make a long story super short, but it ended up being a community takeover. The former team members handed over the smart contract for the project. It had sold out, initially in July, and here we are today. They sent us the art layers, they sent us the domain, they said now here we are creating like an infrastructure and a team. But what they didn't send us was money.
Yeah, the $1.5 million that they raised,
So here we are trying to build a sustainable project, and really at the beginning of all of this, what we wanted to do was just help elevate the community. This was a very different project in many people's minds. It was the first NFT project many people bought into. A lot of people were really craving diversity in the space and more representation of women in the space at the time.
And still are, honestly.
Still are. They still are.
Something we're working on.
And it was one of these projects that a lot of men bought for their wives, girlfriends, daughters, and there was a very emotional, kind of visceral response when this went down. People were pretty upset. So when we had the opportunity to take it over, we were very, very excited, but I'm a realtor, and now I'm not selling houses. I am dealing with JPEGs every single day. It's very, very exciting. But we've fast forward a couple months later, we've put ourselves in a really great position. Obviously, there was an influx of holders and sales and all of this when all of this stuff went down. But we've had such overwhelming community support, obviously from people within our community. The holder numbers is growing, all this stuff. But what's really been amazing is how the NFT community has really shown up for us. Yeah. So we had developers, we had marketing people, we had
projects. Hundreds of people signed up to volunteer within day one of us accepting the project. Yeah. We had other communities volunteering to help audit our codes, getting donations from other communities. If you want to talk.
Yeah, I mean, so what's been really great is I think we've been able to position ourselves as a really meaningful doxed team, and people trust it and they want to see it succeed. So we've actually received 2 generous donations, and I just want to shout out. So Boss Beauties donated a bunch of ETH to us with their sale, and then so did Boring Stone. So we're in a much better position now. We're able to pay people, and now we're looking at what can we do next. And so, first of all, yes, this is kind of the slogan, Her Story. We're building Her Story in the NFT space. But our mission is really to empower women and people and diversity in this space. So we're actually, after this, heading over to a studio with our production team, and we're going to be recording our very first podcast. We haven't even announced the name, so you guys are all getting the alpha. We're starting a new podcast. It's called From the Blockchain, and the whole idea is we want to empower people, especially women, in the blockchain space. And not just for, we want to empower artists, we want to empower creators, but we also want to empower women who are executives, who are leaders, who are in boardrooms, to become the experts in this arena and to be able to bring it back to their companies or build businesses and all that kind of stuff. So we're very, very excited. So I will say to any of you who are here, if you know anyone that would be really interesting to be a guest, please do connect.
Or if you yourself want to come on.
And don't be shy. It's a very inclusive space. Men we know we're going to be talking to a lot of men on our podcast. We just want to create a narrative and have female voices kind of behind the scenes, so that's what we're doing. We're very excited. We do want to thank, we do have an expanded team. We got Chris in the audience here who kind of helps us keep our shit together, to be real.
He's so organized.
So I'm sure many of you know that if you're involved in any of these things, how much work it really takes, and it's so fast and trying to keep up, and especially on a budget. So hopefully some of you make a ton of money, you don't have some of those constraints. But yeah, so our future, we're really excited. Obviously we don't necessarily know what the future is going to bring, but we've had such an awesome time getting to know everybody. We're working on our next steps. We've kind of fulfilled our relaunch roadmap with the podcast being launched. And we're really hoping to connect with a ton of you, because we are still the first female generative project, and we labeled this little talk first community takeover. Now I'm not sure if that's necessarily true, but we hope to be the one that is like the standout in time, that people remember and think back. And there's a bit of a like, don't mess with us ladies kind of situation going on here, so we're very proud.
They are very fierce if you haven't seen them.
Yes, we do have a merch store, you guys, too. So that was...
You can't get this there.
I think we run out of time, which was bound to happen. So I appreciate that. I'm sorry. You can find us here at fame_ladies, all our stuff, fameladysquad.com. Thank you so much for having us. And I'm sorry, I have a tendency to take the mic too long.
It's all right. You're good.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you.